Hey, boys and girls, it's Mr. McAndrew, the math coach. Awesome to be with you as always. So, what do we have going on? We have area and perimeter. We were doing some tough ones the other day, right? Where we had to divide. But it's all really good stuff. All really good ways visually of thinking about multiplication, division, area, length, width, perimeter. It's all really good stuff. And what's nice about area and perimeter is it has some like clear connections to like the real world, right? Like you might want to get a carpet or a rug or paint the wall or put a fence in, and you would actually need to figure that out, right? So today we're going to look at some funny looking shapes and see if we can use what we've learned to help figure out the area and perimeter. Okay, so let's take a look. So here I have a bunch of square inch tiles. Clearly, I do not have a rectangle, right? You couldn't do the length times the width. You wouldn't get the right area, okay? But if you look at this, can you see a way that you could split this up into two or more rectangles? Do you see a way? There's actually more than one way. One way you could do it is here, right? So now you've got a rectangle here and a rectangle here. So if I find the area of this rectangle and the area of this rectangle, then I put them together and I get the area of the whole shape. We call these irregular shapes because they're not like normal regular shapes, right? Another way I could split it up is right here, if you saw that one. So one big one, right, and then a small one. And if I add those two up, I should get the area as well. All right, so typically you don't see a rectangle with square inch tiles. Oops, whoopsie daisy. Normally you just get an outline of a rectangle like this, okay, without the square inch tiles, and it might have some of the dimensions. So we can see this is 3 inches. This is 5 inches, right? Over here you can see this is 3 inches. And here we have 6 inches. Okay? So to find the area, we're not going to do 6 times 5 times 3 times 3 times... No. We're not going to do all that. Because when we get a crazy number, we're going to break it up like I was showing you. Okay? Now, I wanted to show you something. Look at this side right here. Okay? Now, if you didn't know how long that side was, if it didn't tell you, well, you can kind of see it with the square inch tiles, right? But what if there were no square inch tiles? Okay, but you can still figure it out because look, you know from here to here is 3, right? And you know up top from here all the way over to here is 6. So this must be 3 plus what is going to get me to 6? Another 3, right? And then here, this side, it doesn't, we know it's 2, but if you didn't know, you know that from here to here is 3, and here to here is 5. So the difference, right, because this would be the same as this, would be 2 inches. So we know this has to be 2 inches, okay? So if I were to separate the rectangles the way I first did it, I would do 3 times 3, and I would get 9 square inches, right, for this rectangle. This rectangle would be, right, has a length of 3 and a width of 5, or vice versa, whatever way you want to look at it. So 3 times 5 is 15. I never even had to use the 6 inches, just the dimensions of the two rectangles. Okay, you following me? So this is 3 by 5, that's 15, so that would give me 24 square inches. Oh, sorry, I'm blocking that. There you go, 24 square inches. Okay? Now, what if we split it the other way that we had it, which was here. Okay, so let's put a line here. So this little rectangle would be 6 square inches. Right? And the big one would be, let's see, the length is 6, and the width is not 5. You got to be careful, right? The width is only 3 inches. You can see it right here. It's not this, all of this. This goes with this rectangle. So you're going to be really careful when you do these. They're not hard, boys and girls, but it's easy to make a silly mistake, okay? So 6 times 3 is 18 square inches, and 18 plus 6 indeed is 24 square inches. So however you divide it up, you get the same answer, okay? All right, let's look at a few more here. All right, so boys and girls, this problem, move my face up here, we'll say Friday practice with Mr. McAndrew. Okay, so take this out, and I want you to try it, all right? I know I just showed it to you. I know it's new. Give it a shot, all right? Spend a few minutes on it. If you get totally lost, it's fine. Come back. We'll work on it, but give it a shot first. You'll learn a lot better that way if you try it first, and then I show it, instead of me just doing it. Okay, so come back when you're ready. All right, so how'd you do? There's a few ways we could divide this up, right? We could divide it. The most obvious way, I think, is to go right here, right? And put a line there. So now we have rectangle 1 and rectangle 2. This is rectangle 2. So here's where we want to be careful. What's the length of rectangle 2? Well, you can see it's 24 feet, right? And the width, you can see right here, is 6. Okay? 24 times 6. Excuse me. I know that 25 times 6 is 150. So if I take away a 6, that gives me 144. Okay, or you could have done it, let's see, 24 times 6, that's 120, that's 24, and 120 plus 24 is 144, okay? Excuse me, boys and girls. But we're not done, because we have to find the area of rectangle number 1. Right, this one's a little bit trickier. We know that we can see the width here is 8. Okay, so 8 times, this is number 2, this is number 1. But what's this? We don't know the length of the top. How are we going to figure that out? So one way you could figure it out is, you know, the distance all the way across here is 24. Now we know here, from here to here is 9, which also means here to here is 9. Same thing over here. Here to here is 9. Oops. Yeah, let's put it there. So, if this is 9, and this is 9, and the whole thing is 24, then we know what's missing. Right? We've got 9 and 9 is 18. So this would have to be 6 here to make it 24. 9 and 9 is 18, plus 6 is 24. So if this is 6, that means this is 6 up here. Okay, so the width, or the length, sorry, is 6. So 8 times 6, we know that's 48. Okay, so the area of rectangle 1 is 48 square inches, or feet. The area of rectangle 2 is 144. If we add those up, we get 192 square inches. Okay? Kind of crazy, right? Right? All right. Now, it's possible you did this problem a little bit differently, right? You might have done it like, you could have split it actually into 3 rectangles, like that, okay? And so that's another way you could do it, all right? Let's try a couple more. All right, so take out, it'll say, Friday practice with Mr. McAndrew, irregular figures. Oops, sorry. And there's 2 of them. All right, see if you can figure these out. Try it out now that I've shown you one. And when you've tried them out and you're kind of like, yeah, Mr. McAndrew, I'm not sure. And it's okay. Just try them out, do your best, and then we'll do them together. Okay? All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so if you didn't try this out yet, go ahead and do that. All right, this one's kind of crazy. I think we would need at least 3 different rectangles, right? So one way you could do that is to do this and this, right? in which case you've got rectangles 1, 2, and 3. Now here's where you just need to be really careful, right? So you have 4 feet. You can see the length is 4, the width is 10. So the area of rectangle 1 is going to equal 10 times 4, which is 40 square units, right? And then rectangle 2, it looks like it's 4 up top, but we don't know what it is on the width here. But we do know that this is 4, right? And this whole thing is 10, which means that this has to be 6, because 6 plus 4 would give you 10. Okay, so this must be 6 right here. So that's going to be 4 times 6, which is 24. Okay. And then rectangle 3 looks exactly the same as rectangle 1. Yep. It's got a width of 10, a length of 4, so that's also 40. And if you add those up, you get, what, 40, 80, 104 square units. Okay? So there's different ways you can do it, right? You might have done it a different way. You might have gone this way, across. So you've got one big rectangle and 2 little rectangles. So you've got, looks like for the, we've got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do the third one first. My big one, it's got a width of 12. Now this is, you're going to be careful, right? This is not 10. This is not 10. The whole thing is 10. But again, we said we know that's got to be 6, right? Because if this is 10 and that's 4, then 4 plus 6 more would give me the 10. So we've got 12 times 6. All right, what is that? 72. Okay, and then these two look the same. They have a width and a length of 4. You can see that on both, width and length of 4. So they're squares, right? And 4 times 4 is 16. All right, so we've got an area of 16, 16, and 72. So what is that? 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 1, 2, 3, 104 again. So you get the same thing no matter how you divide it up, okay? Let's try one more. Let's try this one, and then your independent work won't even be this hard, I promise. It's not even going to be this difficult. All right, so if you haven't tried this one yet, try it now. All right, so I know the numbers are kind of small, so I made them bigger on this one. So there's really 2 ways to do this. You could split it this way, right? Or you could split it this way. So if you split it this way, you've got 2 rectangles. We can see that this is 12 here. So we know it's going to be 12 times, this is rectangle 1, this is rectangle 2. 12 times something, but we don't know this length here. But do we know this length? So again, we know that from here to here is 24, and from here to here is 18. So in order to get to 24 across would have to be 6, right? Because 18 plus 6 is 24. So this has to be 6, and this has to be 6. So to find the area of this rectangle, we do 12 times 6 again, which gives us 72. Okay, so the area of rectangle 1 is 72. Now we have to find the area of rectangle 2. Okay, so we know, actually look, we know this is 18. Don't use the 24, because that, look, the 24 goes into the other rectangle. We're just trying to find the area of this rectangle right here. And we can see the length is 18. Okay, the length is 18, and the width is 6. And actually, if we use our area model, make that 10 and 8, that becomes 60 and 48. 60 plus 48 is, 108? Okay? So if we add 108 to 72, we'll get the area, which is, what is that, 180 square units. Okay, so what I want you to do now, let me show it to you. I want you to, for each page, there's only 5 problems. For each irregular figure, I want you to find the area and the perimeter. Okay, so you're going to have to add up each side. And in some cases, like down here, it doesn't give you the side. So you have to figure that out using the strategies I've been showing you. So like this one right here, All the way across is 18. That's 6, and that's 6. So this also has to be 6. All right, boys and girls, have fun.